You walked into the room, and no one looked up. You said something, and the conversation kept moving as if you hadn't spoken. You posted something that took real courage to share, and no one responded. You have been showing up in your family, at work, in friendships, giving, trying, caring, and somewhere along the way you started to wonder, does anyone actually see me? Not the version I perform for everyone, not the face I put on so no one worries, the real me, the tired one, the one nobody thinks to check on. And the most painful part? You have started to believe the answer is no, that you are the kind of person people look past, that you exist in the background of other people's stories, never the one anyone truly notices. That feeling, that quiet, aching invisibility, that is exactly what I want to speak into today. Not around it, into it. Stay with me. I want to tell you about a woman named Hagar. You may not know her name well, and that is almost fitting, because she spent most of her life being overlooked too. She was a servant, not the main character in anyone's story. No power, no voice, no choice. She was used and then sent away when she became inconvenient, into the desert, alone, with her child, with no water left. She walked as far as she could, and then she couldn't walk anymore. She placed her son under a bush. She sat down at a distance because she said, "I cannot watch my child die." No one was looking for her. No one knew where she was. No one came to check on her. By every human measure, she was completely invisible. And then the angel of God called her name. Not Abraham, not Sarah, not the important ones. Hagar, in the desert, alone. I said to her, "What is wrong? Do not be afraid." And I showed her water. But I need you to hear what happened after that. After I met her in the desert, in her invisibility, in the place no one else could find her, she gave me a name. She is the only person in all of Scripture who gives God a name. And the name she chose was this: "You are the God who sees me." Not the God who is powerful, not the God who is mighty, the God who sees me. That was the most important thing she knew about me. Because being truly seen, when you have spent your whole life invisible, changes everything. Here is what the feeling of invisibility does over time. It does not stay as just a feeling, it becomes a belief. And that belief shapes everything. How you speak, how you move through rooms, how much you allow yourself to want. The belief sounds like this: I am not the kind of person people notice. The things I carry don't matter enough to be worth anyone's attention. If I disappeared tomorrow, it would take a while for anyone to realize. I want you to sit with those sentences for a moment, not because they are true, but because I want you to see how deeply they have been living inside you. Those beliefs did not come from nowhere. Someone, or many someones, taught them to you. A parent who was too distracted to really listen, a friendship group that never quite made room for you, a workplace where your contributions went unacknowledged, a relationship where you gave everything and were still made to feel like not enough. The world taught you to feel invisible, and I want to undo that today. Because here is the truth. The fact that people did not see you says nothing about your worth. It says everything about their limitations. People are distracted. People are broken. People are looking inward. Their failure to notice you is not evidence of your insignificance. It is evidence of their blindness. And I am not blind. I have never been blind to you, not for a single moment. Let me tell you what I see when I look at you. Not what you perform, not what you present, what I actually see. I see the person who woke up this morning still carrying yesterday. I see the kindness you gave to someone who didn't deserve it and said nothing about. I see the prayer you whispered in the dark when you thought no one was listening. I see the moment you almost said how you really felt and swallowed it instead because you didn't want to be a burden. I see the strength it took just to keep going on the days when keeping going felt impossible. You think you are invisible, but I have been watching all of it. Every quiet sacrifice, every unseen act of love, every time you held yourself together so someone else didn't have to. I counted every tear you cried alone. I heard every word you couldn't say out loud. I was in every room you walked into and felt out of place. I was there. I have always been there. If this is reaching a place in you that hasn't been touched in a while, press like below. It helps this word find someone else who needs it just as much as you do. Stay with me. The most important part is still ahead. I know what some of you are thinking right now. But God, if you see me, why have you been so quiet? If you noticed all of it, why haven't you said something sooner? That is a real question, and you deserve a real answer. There is a story in the book of John. A man named Lazarus was sick, dying. His sisters sent word to me immediately, "Lord, the one you love is sick." And here is what I did. I waited 2 more days. I stayed where I was. Lazarus died. By the time I arrived, he had been in the tomb for 4 days. His sister Martha came to meet me and said, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." She wasn't wrong to say it. She felt abandoned. She felt like I hadn't come when it mattered. And I did not correct her feeling. I wept with her. Even knowing what I was about to do, I wept, because her pain was real, and real pain deserves to be felt, not bypassed. Then I raised Lazarus from the dead, not despite the waiting, but through it. If I had come earlier, it would have been a healing. By waiting, it became a resurrection. The silence you have been living in is not abandonment. It is not evidence that I stopped watching. It is the space in which I am preparing something that could not happen any other way. The waiting is not empty. The waiting is full of me. The years you spent invisible were not wasted. In the quiet, you developed something that people who were always seen never had to grow. An empathy that runs deep because you know what it feels like to be overlooked. A sensitivity to others in pain because you have carried that pain yourself. A capacity for real, genuine connection because you never had the shallow kind to fall back on. The people who will one day come to you for help, they won't need someone who had it easy. They will need someone who felt invisible and found their way back to being seen. They will need you, not the polished version, the one who went through this and made it through. You were not invisible because you didn't matter. You were in the quiet because I was forming something in you that could only be formed in the quiet. Hagar called me the God who sees. That name still belongs to me, and today I am seeing you. You are not a background character in someone else's story. You are known. You are named. You are seen by the one who spoke the stars into existence and still knows every single one by name. How much more do I know you? Walk forward today, seen. Not by everyone. You don't need everyone. Seen by me, and that has always been enough. If this message reached you today, leave a comment below with the word seen. Share this with someone who has been carrying this quietly. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next message.